Today I'm going to make one of my favourite specialty breads. It's a tomato bread. It still has oats in it because we like the bulk of that and it makes it more filling. But instead of using water when we come to cook it, so to speak, to load it into the bread maker, we're making it the lazy way again, I use a can of tomatoes. And to that I add the flavourings that I fancy on the day that I'm making it. So we'll get everything together and I'll show you, and we will make one of John's specialty breads. We'll start on your left and work to your right. We have some sea salt. We have, as always in our bread, porridge oats or rolled oats. Plain flour, olive oil, hiding at the back here in a coffee jar is brown sugar. We are going to use tomato instead of water. We could whiz this, but we don't have to because it breaks down very, very quickly. We're going to have additional flavourings to give it a little edge, a little difference, a little, well, not bite because they're not strong enough for bite, but sorry, I'm sniffing. That nice scent when you cut into the bread and when it's baked. So let's do the ones that we know. Fennel seed or fennel powder. The seed you'll find in the loaf. Some people would like that because you get a sudden little bite of fennel. For others, it sticks in the teeth and isn't so pleasant. So I'm going to pretend that I have ground my fennel seed in a pestle and mortar, and what we'll actually use is the fennel powder and some celery powder. Celery is not easy to find in Cebu, so we are experimenting using celery powder, and I really am learning to use this flavour. It is a strong flavour compared with a stick of celery, so we'll use it with caution. It might seem strange to be adding a tomato, but this does break down like into a passata, a mashed, whizzed tomato. So we use this just to give it a little bit of texture, and so you know there's some tomato in there. Duh. And as always in my breads, a little onion. And again, it just gives the nose, it gives a nice smell when you open the bread and when you cut the bread. So there we are, that's the ingredients. Get the last one, it's not the ingredients. John, you are so daft. It wasn't the ingredients. Because we need yeast. Stupid boy. So, yeast. This is the instant variety for bread makers. And we also use these because they're more accurate measuring spoon. The recipes call for 1 1/4 teaspoons of yeast at the start. We tend to use 1 and 1/2. As the yeast gets older, we do increase that quantity. So each time we make bread, we're assessing how well it's risen, and whether or not next time we're going to add some more yeast. Let's just get that one. I don't like open yeast. It's wicked stuff. We'll move those off there. Now, if you saw me making bread rolls, you'll have remembered that I take care to make sure the yeast is in one corner, okay? And that's because we need to add sugar in the same corner and salt in the opposite corner when we come to do those bits. Put the scales on, because they're self-adjusting, so they'll read 0 even though this is on there. And we put in up to 120. Grams of oats. That's just over 120, and I've got just a little bit left for dusting. So, watching our scales, 193, 249, 300, 376, 450, 510, 30, 550. You're spot on, John. Picking up more than one. We add sugar. And again, 2 teaspoons into the yeast corner. We've done that, we put the salt in. And that goes into the opposite corner. 1 and 1/2. Powder flavourings in next. So, I don't know what you do when you're using spices, whether you like to be naughty and put your finger in or smell them. Now, the difficulty with smelling these is that they're often prepared in a place where many spices are. You open the packet and you get hit with much more smell than just the thing itself. Anyway, 1/4 teaspoon, nice and flat. Yeah, I've just wiped the spoon with my finger. The fennel, I think, although there's a bit of a saltiness to it, I'm going to add another 1/4 teaspoon because I really would like it to be a fennel and tomato tasting bread. Now we'll try the celery powder. As I said to you earlier, this is one that I'm still getting used to. Yeah, as I smell it, there's still the same base smell from the plant, wherever it is we bought this from. I say wherever we bought it from because we actually bought this over the internet. I quite like the idea of these small 20-gram packages to try the spice while I get used to it. Okay, that can go in. Then we add the onion just like that. And then I'm not going to try again. I'm not going to cut this up a lot. I'm going to cut these big end pieces. I'm going to leave those like that, and I'm going to cut this end piece. What will happen in cooking is that this middle will break out, and then you'll be left with the skimpy edge and that first inner part, which that will thin down, so you get to see pieces of tomato, which I kind of find reassuring. So now we're at the stage where if you're making it as a more of a plain bread, you would add 390. I'm doing this from memory, please. 390 milliliters of water. Okay, this is nominally 400 grams. Yeah, 390 milliliters of water is 390 grams. This is very slightly heavier, denser. Yeah, so that volume will be slightly heavier. So that just goes straight. Do you know, I haven't got any Keith Floyd, you know, but then it's 10:30 on a Sunday morning, so I shouldn't really be doing a Keith Floyd. Mind you, Keith Floyd might have been to recover from the night before. John, you silly boy, you've been so busy talking, you forgot to put the oil in. Now again, the recipe calls for 25 grams of butter or oil. It's interesting, in my bread mixer, when you are making a dough for rolls, which is the last recipe that you saw us make with it, you have oil specified in a recipe. For bread, they specify butter, brackets, or oil. With a consciousness, with a thinking about our blog and our recipes on cooksomethingdifferent.com, it would be nice to have something which hasn't got marked dairy products. So I'm doing it without butter and I'm using oil. Stop burbling. 25 grams of butter, the equivalent, is 2 generous teaspoons of oil. So in that goes. Okay, so here we are with the wobblies. I say with the wobblies because I'm hand holding the camera. Hope it doesn't wobble too much. Our mix. Okay, now then, we are making whole wheat. We're not using a whole wheat flour, but because we've got the oats in there, we use the whole wheat bake, which is a bit of a bummer because it's 5 hours worth. The options, we actually don't have any. We're not wanting to make it rapid. We're not using raisin because we're adding anything as it goes through. And we're not making a dough. So next we want the size. And the size we've chosen to make is extra large. 550 is the extra large size. Make a kneading our mixture. And the smell in my office is just gorgeous. It really is a shame that we can't get smells on video. Aha! So, it did go beep, 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 beep. But I missed it. Aha! There we have our bread. Very own.
Yeah. We made it.
I'm not quite sure why I haven't got a nice smooth open top.
There's many. Can I get it?
It's cooked.
It cut like a football. Let's check inside. Maybe.
Yeah, let's cut a slice.
To check inside.
Yeah. Whoa.
Check inside.
That's nice.
Wow. Oh, it's hot.
Well, of course, darling, it's just come out the oven.
Okay. Whoa.
There we are. It's got quite a thick crumb, heavy crumb.
Oh, it's crunchy, Daddy.
It is, darling, yeah.
So here we have our bread. Turned out, cut, buttered. I'm disappointed with the texture, but the taste is fabulous.